Listen to Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery, Level A2, Oxford Reading University.
Part 2. You will find Part 1 here.
Anne jumped to her feet and shouted, "You are an awful boy!" She hit Gilbert on the head with her writing board. The board broke in half. The teacher, Mr. Phillips, ran up to them. "What are you doing?" he shouted. "Go and stand in front of the class for the rest of the day." "She didn't do anything wrong," said Gilbert. "I said bad things about her hair." But the teacher refused to listen to him. Later, Gilbert tried to talk to Anne many times. She just looked at him angrily and said, "I hate you." Once, the teacher made her sit next to Gilbert all day. When the lessons were over, she stood up quietly and started packing her things. "What are you doing?" Diana asked. "I am going to study at home," Anne replied. "I am never coming back to school again." Diana tried to talk Anne out of it, but she couldn't. Marilla allowed Anne to study at home. 9. One afternoon, Marilla went to an important meeting. She let Anne invite Diana for tea. "There is a bottle of sweet fruit juice in the kitchen," she said. "You can drink it with Diana." When Diana came, the girls played in the garden for some time. Then Anne brought a glass of fruit juice and gave it to Diana. "It tastes so good," Diana said. "Can I have another glass?" Anne happily gave her more juice. The girls played a little more, and then Diana went home. The following day, Marilla sent Anne to visit Mrs. Rachel. When she returned, she ran to her room crying. "What is wrong?" Marilla asked. "Diana's mother told Mrs. Rachel awful things about me," Anne replied. "Diana was drunk when she returned home yesterday. Her mother thinks that I gave her alcohol." "What?" Marilla asked in surprise. She ran to the kitchen, opened the bottle of fruit juice, and smelled it. "It isn't juice," she cried. "It is red wine." Marilla went to Diana's mother, Mrs. Barry. She tried to talk to Mrs. Barry, but the angry woman refused to listen.
Read real-life conversations, listen to audiobooks, and learn new words with the Iwa app. So many different books and English stories for all levels, with translations and transcriptions. Check out appiwa.com.
"I don't want Anne to be around Diana ever again," she cried. Without Diana, Anne felt awful. She cried every day. Then she decided to return to school. "It is my only chance to see Diana," she thought. "Although I can't be her friend, at least I can see her there." 10. The following week, Marilla and Mrs. Rachel went to an important meeting in town. Diana's parents went there too. Anne and Matthew were reading in the kitchen when Diana broke into the house. "My little sister is sick," she cried at the top of her voice. "She has croup. My parents aren't home. I don't know what to do." Anne took her hand. "Don't worry, Diana," she said. "Mrs. Thomas's children had croup. I learned how to deal with it. Let me get the medicine for your sister. Now let's go." Matthew prepared the horses and went for the doctor. Diana's sister was very sick. Diana was very worried. Anne made the girl drink some medicine. Then she said, "Bring me some hot water, Diana. We must take off her clothes and put her to bed." Anne stayed with Diana all night, keeping watch of her little sister. In the morning, Matthew arrived with the doctor. The little girl was already sleeping quietly. Anne didn't go to school that day. She felt too tired after the sleepless night. Later in the day, Marilla walked into her room. "Mrs. Barry came in the morning," she said. "She wanted to thank you in person, but I didn't want to wake you up. You saved her daughter's life, Anne. She is not angry with you anymore. She feels terrible about the wine accident. You can now play with Diana again." 11. Months passed. Soon it was the end of another summer vacation. Diana invited Anne and other schoolgirls to a party. They drank tea and talked a lot. Then one of them suggested, "Let's climb the highest tree in the garden. Who can walk along the roof end? It will be so much fun." "I will do it," Anne cried excitedly. "Be careful, Anne," Diana said in a worried voice. Anne climbed the tree and jumped onto the roof. She started walking along its end. Then her foot moved to the side and she fell to the ground. Diana ran up to her, crying, "Anne is dead." But Anne wasn't dead. She was just unconscious. Her face was white and her leg was hurt badly. Mr. Barry brought her home. Marilla cried when she saw her. "I have never realized how much I love her," she thought. Anne stayed in bed for weeks. Her school friends came to visit her every day and brought her presents. By the end of the year, Anne was able to return to school. Mr. Phillips, Anne's least favorite teacher, didn't work there anymore. A young lady named Miss Stacy came to take his position. She was a nice woman and used unusual teaching methods. She decided to organize a Christmas concert. All the children were going to perform on stage. Anne's dresses aren't as pretty as other girls', Matthew thought. He remembered Anne's dream of a white dress. He went shopping and bought the most beautiful dress he could find in the store. Soon Christmas came. Anne woke up and looked out of the window. Snow was falling softly on the ground. The island looked like a magic white world. It was the day of the concert. At breakfast, Matthew gave Anne her present. She started crying. She was the happiest girl in the world. In the evening, the Cuthberts went to the concert. They watched Anne perform on stage. She wore her new dress. She performed brilliantly and was the star of the evening. Matthew and Marilla were very proud of her. 12. One afternoon, Marilla was walking home after a meeting. "There is going to be some nice warm tea on the table," she thought, and smiled. "I am sure Anne has already served it for me." But when she came home, tea wasn't on the table. It was cold and dark in the kitchen. In the evening, Marilla and Matthew had dinner alone. Marilla got worried about Anne. She walked up to her room and knocked on the door. "Go away," Anne cried. "I am so ugly that I don't want anybody to see me." Marilla ran into the room. She saw Anne lying on the bed and crying. Her hair was dark green. "What did you do?" Marilla asked in surprise. "I dyed it," Anne cried in response. "Now I can't wash the green color off." Marilla couldn't do anything to it, so she had to cut Anne's hair short. At first, Anne looked in the mirror and cried. But then she turned serious. "I must never hate my red hair again," she said. By the end of the summer, Anne's hair grew long again. It wasn't as bright as before. One day, Anne was playing with her friends by the river. She got into an old boat, and the girls pushed it out into the middle of the river. It was very dangerous. The river carried the boat away quickly. Fortunately, Anne managed to catch hold of a big tree. "Somebody save me!" she cried. Her whole body hurt from holding onto the tree for so long. Suddenly, another boat appeared in the distance. It came close to Anne. Gilbert Blythe was inside. He helped Anne climb down the tree and reach land. "I am sorry that I was rude to you before," he said. "Let's be friends now, Anne." "Thank you for saving my life," she replied, "but I will never be friends with you." "Then I am never speaking to you again," he cried. 13. One cold November evening, Anne and Marilla sat by the fire. Marilla's eyes were closed. They were tired and hurt a lot. "Anne, I have talked to your teacher, Miss Stacy," she said. "She is going to teach a class for the smartest students after school. The best students from all over the island will compete for an opportunity to study at Queen's College. Matthew and I are ready to pay for your education. Do you want to go there and become a teacher?" Anne's eyes lit up. "Yes, of course," she shouted excitedly. "Thank you, Marilla. I will study very hard." Soon she was one of the two best students in the group. The other one was Gilbert Blythe. Another year passed. Matthew started having heart problems and was getting worse by the day, but he still worked hard on the farm. Anne is already 15, Marilla thought sadly. She isn't a child anymore. Soon she will leave Green Gables. It is going to be very quiet and lonely without her. At the beginning of June, Anne went to Charlottetown to take an exam for Queen's College. She was very tired when she returned home. She was expecting the results in 3 weeks. Those were the most restless 3 weeks in her life. Then one evening, Diana ran into the house with a newspaper in her hand. "You passed, Anne," she cried. "You and Gilbert have scored the same amount of points." Marilla and Matthew were happy and proud. 14. Anne went to Queen's College. At first she was nervous. She didn't know anyone in her class. That was why she was happy to see Gilbert every day, although they never talked to each other. Anne made great progress in her studies. Soon she passed another exam. It provided her with the money to attend classes at the well-known Redmond College the following year. "I can imagine how pleased Matthew will be," she thought. Anne returned to Green Gables for the summer. She spent a lot of time with Diana. "You have achieved great results, Anne. What are you going to do next?" Diana asked. "I am going to Redmond College in the fall," Anne replied. "Gilbert Blythe isn't going with you, although he passed the exam," Diana said. "His father won't be able to pay for his education at Redmond. Gilbert is staying in Avonlea to teach at our school." Suddenly, Anne felt very sad. In the evening, she talked to Marilla. "My eyes hurt more and more often," Marilla said. "Now it is hard for me to read, and Matthew's heart is getting weaker. He has to rest more." One day, Anne and Marilla were in the kitchen. Suddenly, Matthew appeared at the door. He was holding a newspaper in his hands. His face was gray. Its expression changed strangely and then was still. Matthew fell to the floor. Marilla and Anne ran to him. They shook him and called out to him, but he never responded. He had another heart attack and died. Marilla looked at the newspaper. "It says that the Abbey Bank failed. We kept all our money there," she said. "Now we have lost everything." The whole town helped arrange the ceremony for Matthew. What are we going to do without him? Anne asked Marilla as they sat together and cried. We have each other, dear, Marilla replied. Oh, Anne, I know I was hard on you sometimes, but I have always loved you as much as Matthew did. 15. The following day, Marilla went to the eye doctor. When she returned, she said to Anne, The doctor says that I must stop reading and crying. If I don't stop, soon I won't be able to see at all. Also, I will have to sell the farm. With my poor health, I won't be able to keep Green Gables in order. She covered her face with her hands. Anne put her arms around her. Don't worry, Marilla, she said. I am going to stay with you. Together, we will look after Green Gables. We mustn't sell our dear old house. But aren't you going to Redmond College? Marilla asked in surprise. No, Anne said. Her face was serious. I decided to stay in Avonlea and teach at the local school. I will live with you and look after you. Don't worry about me. I still have my goals. I will continue studying at home. Oh, Anne, Marilla cried, and held the girl close. Later, Anne learned that Gilbert already had a teaching position at Avonlea School. Then suddenly he gave it up. Anne met him on the street one day. Why did you give up Avonlea School? She asked. I wanted you to teach there, he replied. The school is close to Green Gables. You will be able to live with Marilla. She needs you now. And I am going to teach at White Sands School. Anne smiled at him softly. Then she held out her hand to him. Thank you, she said. Let's be friends. All right, he said, and took her hand. I am sorry about everything, Anne. That day, Anne sat by the window, deep in thought. I have made the right decision, she thought. Even if my big plans for the future don't come true, I still have my dear Marilla and Green Gables. I have Diana and many other good friends, and I have a good job. I know I am going to be happy here. Dear God, she said quietly, everything is fine with this world.
Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more free audiobooks. And now, listen to another English story.